Hello and welcome to the Heresy Lodge. I am your host Dylan Cooper with a constant co-host over here.
Gavin Franklin.
And guys, we are here this week to preview the very short anthology of Primarchs.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said last week, we aren't going to do a three-parter for this one. Just going to do the preview and review because it's really only 3 stories.
Four.
Is it 4?
Yes.
Reflection Cracked. Oh yeah, it is 4.
You know the Iron Hands?
No, I forgot the Dark Angels one for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you finished it?
I finished that one. I am on the last one.
The last one.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're only going to do these 2 episodes, then we'll do our bonus episode, special episode, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That will also be about Primarchs, but not just the ones in this book.
Yeah, not the book in particular, and there's a lot more stuff that we want to cover in that. I think my plan is to actually go over the books too.
Yeah.
And talk about which ones, ranking the books, how the authors have looked. Like if you were to start the Horus Heresy, what are the books you have to read, and what books should you look forward to the most? And that kind of concept is where I want to head down as well.
Yep, we're going to get some input from our Discord as well, so if you want to get in on that, join the Discord. Like to hear all the opinions. We like to chat, so join it. You can do that by going to our Twitter, which is at Heresy Lodge. It is pinned to the top there. You can also always ask us by emailing us, which is theheresylodge@gmail.com. And YouTube comments, I can throw it on the YouTube anytime as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just let us know. Join. It's always fun. Also, if you have any comments for us, if you think there's something that we can do better, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
We take all feedback. I don't want to say personally, because obviously it's personal.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously. That's the word I need. And yeah, we try to do what we can to make it better for us and for you.
Yep. So let's jump into it.
Yeah, let's do this.
Anything before? No?
Oh, beer. We have beer. Damn it.
Time.
This is the second time in like a month we've done this.
I have brought with me a beer that I've never had before. Have you had this beer?
No, but I really, really like these cans.
Yes. So they are really cool, artistic cans. It is from the brewery called Against the Grain. It's very American. And it is a
Super American.
A super American premium lager.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It kind of tastes like a sandwich.
I just realized it's called a beer. It's called a beer.
Oh, it is called a beer. That's the name of the beer. It's a beer.
I really like this.
This is pretty cool. It is from Louisville, Kentucky. Interesting. I'm going to be in Louisville next weekend for a tournament, another Warhammer tournament, and a soccer tournament.
Woo! Gonna be a good time.
I gotta tell you a real quick story about soccer. So my girlfriend played soccer all throughout college. She's a soccer coach for 3 different teams right now. Like, she's obsessed with soccer. And before I met her, I hated soccer. And it's just a sport that's not for me. Nothing against anyone that likes soccer.
Except it's fucking terrible.
Except it's pretty terrible. Like, the rules are so silly. And the score is so silly. And I'll give you a good example of this. Her high school team just went to their division finals. It's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
The score after an hour and 20 minutes of kicking a ball around was 0-0.
Ooh, that's a close game.
So you know what soccer does? This is soccer. They add 5 minutes for overtime. Okay? So 5 more minutes. Now this is what's crazy to me at this point, right? There's like it was 100 or 80 minutes. So there's 16 5-minute segments up until this point.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well maybe in the 17th 5-minute segment something will happen. Nope, 0-0. So then this is what soccer does. Adds 5 more minutes to the clock, thinking maybe the 18th 5-minute segment.
When does it get the free kicks?
After the second 5-minute segment, it goes to kicks. And if any of you guys are familiar with soccer, the way it works is each team chooses 5 players. And those 5 players, one team after the other, will make a free kick against the goalie. And after the 5 players go, whoever has the most wins the game. Now, if it's still tied, they just go one after the other, and whoever wins and the other one loses, that's who wins the game. That's how ridiculous. And this is what, so apparently this was like a rule made like in the 60s because of some big game that happened where they went to like 6 overtimes or some shit. And then they reevaluate and decided, oh, okay, maybe we need to add kicks. And my thought was like, maybe you need to reevaluate and think, we shouldn't have a sport that ends in 0-0 after 90 minutes of play.
We should edit hands.
Yeah, you know what? How about we do like some 3-pointers every once in a while? Some crazy stuff. But yeah, it was a interesting game to watch. But yeah, that's my rant about soccer before we get into the Primarchs book.
We are clearly very American here.
It's a sport invented by communists for communists.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Alright, guys. Primarchs. It starts off with the Emperor's Children, who we have not seen for a long time. So I think it's important that we talk about how Fulgrim ended.
Yeah, because it's a pivotal portion in this book.
Yeah.
The last scene we get in Fulgrim is Horace in his room, and Forrest Forrest Gump. Fulgrim comes to talk to him. Does he give him Ferris's head or something?
I don't. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And Horace is like, ugh,
what the fuck?
That's fucking weird. Don't do that. It's gross.
Yeah. And Horace,
bury the man. Shit.
Horace makes the comment like, "Oh, you're not my brother anymore."
Yeah.
And Fulgrim's like, "No, I'm not your brother." So like, apparently, at the end of Fulgrim is possessed by some demon of Slaanesh.
Yeah, and like we even have like the monologue with Horace too. Is like, you know, I will release my brother one day.
I will find a way to get my brother back.
Yeah,
kind of thing. So this is what I think happened.
Graham McNeil forgot.
Well, no. I think what happened, because this one is written by Graham McNeil. I think they sat down in the writing room after all these books, decide, okay, where's the next path? And then they had this like really, really cool story that's coming up in the book Angel Exterminatus with Fulgrim and Portorabo. And they're like, okay, this is how the story's gonna go. And they start writing it, and Graham McNeil's like, fuck, wait a minute. Fulgrim's possessed. And they're like, oh shit, that's not gonna work. That's not how this story goes. So Graham McNeil had to eventually like, okay, I can write a short story in this new Primarchs book that we're doing to fix that problem. Or is it a problem? So this is the frustrating part about this book. It accomplishes nothing whatsoever. Actually, de-accomplishes things.
Yeah.
I feel like. And the whole time, all the conversation is very confusing. Like, philosophical to the point of annoyance.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of philosophical conversation in there where they're like, this is how the universe is. And I'm like, you know, you're also a Slaaneshi worshipping dude. I feel like that's not how it goes.
Man, the Emperor's Children and the Slaanesh stuff got real weird in this book.
So this is the good part of the book, in my opinion. One, the whole point of view is from Lucius.
Yeah, which is cool.
Cool fucking character. Lucius is badass.
Yeah.
And I think Lucius is maybe the most powerful Space Marine.
Probably him, Karn, Abaddon, our fucking boy, who I can't think
Servitor.
Yeah, Servitor.
Yeah, there's a list. Yeah, Servitor, yeah, of course. Swain, you got Sigismund, you got all kinds of Rodolon
or something like
he's
that.
In
I don't know.
Fear to Tread, and he's pretty badass. There's a lot, but I really think Lucius could lay some smackdown on a lot of them.
Yeah.
And you kind of see that in this book. Like he fights with the Primarch for fun sometimes.
Yeah. Also, another thing I want to bring up is like you know how like several of the Primarchs have like an honor guard, right? Like we have Mortarion's like
Death Shroud.
Yeah, Death Shroud. We have Fulgrim's fucking Phoenix Guard.
Yeah, something like that.
They fucking suck. Like we had the one in
Are they a thing in this book?
Yeah, in front of the room, the theater.
Oh,
there's like
yeah.
6 of them.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a good scene. It's a good scene.
Yeah.
Well, it just goes to show how powerful Lucius is. I think.
But like I want to say in Outcast Dead, we had the one guy who was like one of the original 7 of the Death Shroud, who like died immediately. Like every time like we see like these like they're supposed to like they should be like
the best.
Yeah, they should be like the custodes of the fucking Primarch basically instead of. But they suck.
They do.
I don't understand.
When we go through all of the like really powerful Space Marines, what I think is interesting is a majority of the most powerful Space Marines are actually the Primarch's equerries.
Yeah.
Karn, Typhus, Radalorn.
Mm-hmm.
He's the equerry to Sanguinius.
Fuck, what's horses again?
Axeman? Or not?
No, it's
Abaddon.
not.
Oh, Malagurst.
Yeah,
that's Malagurst is not.
He's all decrepit and shit.
Mm-hmm. So, point of view of Lucius, he's a really great character. That kind of thing happens. And then, let's talk real quick. I don't want to spoil anything, but can we talk about the greatest part in this book? And
this is actually... So this happens twice in this book.
It does, but one is amazing and one is not.
Yes. But I want to say my biggest complaint about this is that we have 2 somewhat big characters randomly get killed. Didn't even put up a fight.
Not at all.
And it was just like, you built these characters up for what? Like, one of them went through 2 books.
Yeah, one of them was in 3.
Yeah. And they just like, you're dead. Like, wait a minute. Like, one I was like, oh shit. Nice.
Yeah. And
I wish this happened in like a different like book, like an actual book.
This was my fear. Okay. I feared, especially for the big bad Space Marines on the traitor side, that there was going to be this like rivalries between Space Marines on traitor or like non-traitor and loyalist sides or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like the Siege of Terra was just going to be a big books about that being rectified and who wins the fight.
It's like the fucking fight with the Mountain and the Hound.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, I don't want to see that. I want to see that throughout the heresy, which is why when we ended No Fear with the escape of the fuck is his name? Corfarion. I was like, no, come on.
Yeah, that was so... The dude got his heart ripped out.
Exactly. And so, when this happened in the book for the first time, I was like, okay. After reading No Fear, I enjoyed that scene. Because it was like, okay, like we have a breath of fresh air of someone dying.
Yeah.
And it was a person I wanted to die. But it was also, I think what's frustrating is a person I wanted to die so badly, I'm kind of upset it happened that easily.
Yeah, it wasn't very, like, satisfying. It was like when, spoiler, in Game of Thrones again, when Joffrey dies.
Yeah, from poison.
Yeah, you're like, that's it? This dude's been terrorizing everyone for, like, 3 seasons, and he doesn't like, get beheaded?
Yeah. I really think this book right here is the book where they were like, here's the storylines we're going. Here's what we need to have set up, and here are the characters that don't go forward.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. And they're like, oh, like for instance, I think they were writing an Emperor's Children book in the future already. And they were like, hey, this character, we don't have anything for him to do.
The thing is, though, he was one of the, like, was he first captain?
Come on now. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, he's important to
No, he's not first captain, but he's up there. He is more important. He is the most important.
Yeah. So the fact that they... man, damn it.
It was interesting. It was interesting.
It was really cool, but it was also just like, I wish that would have
cool.
happened differently.
I would have been okay with it if it was the only one.
Yes.
And after the second one, both of them put a bitter taste in my mouth. So I was like, what is this?
Yeah, which it also makes me like fear like if you're someone that like kind of just like skips around and like you're like following like a certain storyline, like if you didn't read this and like you were only following like Emperor's Children or Dark Angels or whoever, like you're like, whoa, what happened to my character here?
What happened to this person?
Yeah,
because this is definitely what's so crazy about this is actually a very important book to the heresy.
It's super important,
and it's an anthology, and it's not amazing. It's kind of a slug.
Dude, the fucking Iron Hands one.
The Iron Hands.
It probably took me 3 days of just being like, Dylan, you gotta just do this.
It's pretty nuts. So, the Emperor's Children, a lot of it is about how Fulgrim is tainted, dealing with his possession, what actually is going on there, and then the other half is about Lucius, being Lucius, a badass.
Yep.
Having dreams, figuring shit out, and another portion is just about
and apparently being wrong.
Apparently, the ending is very bad.
Dude, you just spit literally everywhere. Like I just saw like a whole glob come out of your mouth.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't even feel it. It felt completely dry to me.
Nope, everywhere.
It might have been.
The room is covered. It's raining.
Okay, well, the Emperor's Children. The other portion of this book is really about the Emperor's Children and how fucked up they are. And this is what's so great about this, and why this was actually one of the more enjoyable stories to me, is Graham McNeil writes it really fucking well.
Yeah, it's written well.
It is written really well. It's almost too well.
You know, this is like another one of those like ones where like he had to be, like his editor had to get back to him. Was like, Graham,
dude,
come on.
Hey.
Do you really need this part? Oh yeah.
Well, we
definitely need that part.
We know that in Fulgrim, his editor did tell him there were things he had to take out.
I don't know what he could have done worse.
Yeah. In this one, it's like, whatever he had to take out of Fulgrim, he decided to put in here.
Fucking bro, in Fulgrim, they were probably like, fucking Manus's head.
I could see it.
I could see it. They're like, Graham, come on now. We crossed the line on necrophilia, dude.
There's some crazy shit in this one though. There's some really kinky torture tactics. I had a whole conversation with a few people on Discord about
yeah, Trainwreck and Brian.
Yeah, about like what took place in that torture chamber, because Trainwreck came out and was like, "Hey, this happened." And I was like, "No, it didn't." He's like, "Read it again." And I did. And I was like, "Oh my god, this actually happened."
It did actually happen.
We'll talk about that in the review for sure, because it was super weird.
It was a thing. It was a thing that happened.
And also at the same time, like, it's really cool to read the descriptions of Lucius just like walking around the ship. Like some of the shit the Emperor's Children are doing, weird, really weird. Like, there's definitely gay Astartes orgies going on.
There's a lot of weird orgies going on.
Yeah, and if there are humans.
We talked about this like before, like we started to like. It's not even just homosexual. This is incest.
Yeah,
straight
like
up
brothers.
Incest happening. I mean, they all have the same genes, right?
It's very strange. And if there are, it makes me wonder, like, what is happening with, like, if there are humans on board?
Dude, I'm imagining, like, can you picture this, alright? You have fucking Abaddon come up, and he's just, like, walking around, and he just sees, like, all these Astartes just humping each other, and he's like, Horus. We gotta take these guys out. This is fucking weird.
Not okay, man. I think we see that.
They're stabbing each other, humping each other.
I really want to see like what happens in Age of Exterminatus when you have the fucking Iron Warriors.
Yeah, Iron Warriors.
And they're like, we have to go hang out with the Emperor's Children.
Damn it, are you sure?
Because you really do. You get descriptions of Lucius walking around. He's like, you hear like moans from piles of bodies.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, like, what is happening in this
so
shit?
The story is the question that we asked Graham McNeil is like, can Astartes fuck? The answer is yes. He answered it in his writing. He wouldn't tell us. He said they were fully equipped. They just don't think about it. He lied.
Yeah.
Because he wrote about it. The answer is they just fuck each other.
I mean, you can't do the human, right? Because I would imagine it's like a horse.
They'd be into that. I bet you. If the humans are alive, if there are any after Isfan. Because all the ones we know died.
Well, that was just the Vengeful Spirit.
No. I'm talking from Fulgrim.
I guess all the main ones
died. Yeah. So, like, if any are surviving or are still there, they're doing.
There was a bunch there. Although a lot of people died during the theater.
The theater scene.
Oh yeah, they're probably all dead. Damn.
Exactly. So, like, I don't know.
A lot of dead bodies, though.
I also wonder too, and this was something that like kind of came to mind as I was reading Fear to Tread, is the servitors. I bet you there's some weird shit happening with the servitors.
Poor servitors, they can't even think.
I know, right? Like, think about that. And there's a lot of just weird shit, and a lot of stuff happens with Fabius.
Yeah.
In this book as well. Fabius is a big character. If you guys don't remember, he is the apothecary, the head apothecary.
Yeah, he was the one that like implanted like Eidolon with the like the screamer thing.
Mm-hmm. And he likes to like work on legionaries and enhance
Damn
them.
it! Who was the one that he brought down that was the Emperor's Children Loken?
Oh,
I can't even think of his name.
Oh my god.
Saul
Tarvitz.
Yes.
Wait, Fabius didn't kill Saul Tarvitz.
No. He like invited him down into his thing, and Saul was like, "This is fucked up."
Yeah, you see that laboratory. It's a huge scene in this book. So, really interesting. There is a section in this book that I think I read into that highly suggested that Fulgrim is homosexual and committed sexual acts before Slaanesh.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, there's really no women especially in this time. Like, I'm sure, like, in the future with the, what are they called? Sisters of Battle. Like, they're kind of like Astartes-esque.
Mm-hmm.
But at this time, it's only, like, humans. And I don't think a human can take a Primarch cock.
Who knows? There's a lot.
I'm imagining like
the science behind
like
it.
3 horses.
Okay, we could argue about dick sizes of Primarchs. That's the next ranking. Which Primarchs have the biggest
Who's
dicks?
the big? I mean, you gotta put probably Fulgrim at the top, right?
He's the small Primarch guy that surprises everyone.
Dude, it's always the skinny ones.
Okay.
So it's probably Fulgrim.
Dylan knows about all the various.
It's probably Fulgrim, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised about Alfarius either.
Okay. All right. So that is the Emperor's Children one, and we can move past the
that segment.
Yeah. Let's go into
the worst story.
The Rod of Iron.
Book.
Okay, let's move on to the Dark Angel story.
Man, so this is like, I feel like they just threw the story in here just because, like, man, we killed off Manus like in 3 seconds.
You gotta give love to the Iron Hands.
Yeah, and we see the Iron Hands twice in this book.
Yes.
And you know, I don't even like hate them, but I really do not respect their Primarch, Manus.
Yeah, I agree.
Like in this story, he rushes in and gets in trouble.
He has no respect for human life.
Yeah, he has no respect for human life. He makes the same mistake over and over again, and it drives me nuts.
He doesn't learn.
No.
And yeah, so this story, just to give a really brief synopsis, is he is sent to a planet fighting Eldar.
Mm-hmm.
And he is sent there with both Mortarion and Vulcan. Now, one thing that I really did like about this story is it talked a lot about his and Vulcan's relationship.
Yeah, which, honestly, I feel like this should be way close. I really do not understand why Manus and Fulgrim are so close. Other than they spent a year building a weapon. Cool.
I think
they're nothing alike.
I think they're the most opposite Primarchs. I think that's why Ferris likes him so much is because they balance each other out very well. But
I feel like I would honestly
it does seem like a
say
forced
that like
relationship.
Gilliman
yeah.
would be more of an opposite because at least Gilliman fucking uses his brain.
Yeah.
Manus is just like, fuck it.
Yeah. So Ferrus Manus's army is having issues. Each of the legions are sent after some sort of pylon that is protecting or like hiding their main city or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
And Mortarion and Vulcan were able to find theirs. And Ferrus Manus is struggling. And there's all kinds of issues that the Iron Hands face. And one thing that you find about Ferrus Manus, he's so prone to anger. Like,
yes.
ridiculously amount. Like, his legion is scared to talk to him.
Yeah, he's honestly comparable to, like, Angron. Which is not what I expected at all.
Yeah, and when we think about him having claim to be War Master, what a joke.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, why he thought he would be a top runner.
Yeah, like, it's very clear. The only 2 times we've seen Ferrus Manus in a war engagement, he needed help from his other brothers to complete a task because he was unable to do it because he wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for War Master, like, it was a 3-horse race.
It really was.
I mean, you got Horus, Sanguinius, and Gilliman.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone else that would make any sense.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, no other person makes sense. And actually, there's a really cool scene in Fear to Tread at Olnar. Sanguinius.
Oh, we have Olnar in that?
Yeah.
And
that's
like, awesome.
It's conversations between Sanguinius and Horus about him being picked as War Master. And there's some really cool lines in there. And Sanguinius delivers a line that is like, this is why I wasn't picked. And it makes so much fucking sense. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. It is a 3-horse race at that point. Like, even looking at people before that I thought could have been, like the Lion, no way.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
The Lion's a fucking idiot.
Definitely not Ferrus Manus. One of the conversations that he has in here, though, about why he hates Vulcan makes so much sense. Is he's talking about, like, he hates Mortarion. He fucking hates Mortarion.
Yes, he does.
Which I'm like, of course. Like, why would
you know what? I don't blame him.
Yeah. But he's like, Vulcan's great. Great guy. But the problem is, I can never count on it. Same thing about Gilliman.
Yeah.
Gilliman said, I can't count because he's, like, so concerned about humanity. I'm like, wow, what a terrible thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very weird thing to say, especially since the whole thing, like the whole Great Crusade, is supposed to be for humanity.
Exactly. So in this story, we actually get a reoccurring theme of the Iron Warriors.
Also, their philosophy sucks. They're wannabe mechanicum.
Yes, they like to replace their. It's super weird. So this is what's frustrating.
Which makes me like hate like him and the Emperor and Fulgrim being so close because everything is so fucking different. Like the Emperor's children, like they have to scoff at them. Like, you're right. They fucking scoff at Lucius for using someone like an arm for a weapon.
That's true. I think it is a bit of a forced relationship in the novels.
Yeah.
Yeah. It literally makes no sense. They should hate each other.
Yeah. 100%.
So there's 2 lessons that I think continuously pop up in this story that they never learn. They like it hits them in the face multiple times, and they're just like, still, it's ridiculous. The first one is they have their whole synopsis, flesh is weak.
Yeah.
But there are multiple engagements that they have in this book where the less augmented Space Marines are winning.
Yeah.
Because of the enemy able to take control of their augmentations.
Mm-hmm.
And even till the end, they're like, well, we think of you lesser, but go and do what we cannot.
Yeah, that made no sense. Like, that one guy I actually really liked.
Yes,
because he was like, it's just my arm, and I took it off. Like, oh, you took off your augmetic? And he's like, yeah, I don't want to fucking die.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. Like, their mentality is strange. It's like one day Ferrus Manus woke up, and it talks about his past, like how he like got his hands the way it is because they're like adamantium weird hands or whatever.
Yes.
And after that, he was like, augmentations are good because he's augmented now. Then every single person in the Legion was like, that's the only way. If you don't do augmented, you're fucking shit. It's like in the who's who of the Iron Hands, you know? It's like, who has the most augmentation? You're the best. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, they're the Mechanicum of Zero's Astartes. And it's... I don't like it. I feel like it's very, like, anti-Astartes.
They're the worst of the Mechanicum, too. Like, if we think of the Mechanicum from No Fear... Mm-hmm. They're phenomenally written.
Yeah, they were
even
awesome.
in that, and they had conversations about how, like, yes, we strive for betterness, but never rely on technology.
Yeah,
like, it has to go through people. And then you have the Mechanicum and Mechanicum who don't think that way, and they're annoying, and you hate them.
Yeah, the only one that was cool was it like Zeta or something like that? Zeth, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like. The Iron Warriors, most of them they're like the shitty Mechanicum.
It was just weird too because it's like, I should just replace my leg. Why?
Yeah.
You're an Astartes, like, why?
That leg's pretty great.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Iron Hands are written to be like insanely superior to any of the legions who don't augment themselves. So I'm like, hey, like you're failing to find the pylon. But the fucking Death Guard did it.
Yeah.
And they're not replacing their shit. They're the Death Guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's really weird that like for years they think it's making them better, but like they don't actually. I don't think you can go to the books and see like a statistical improvement in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I need the stats behind this.
Yeah.
Who wrote this?
Is Flesh weak? Because I don't know.
Nick Kime, I think it's Kime. I need you to give me the stats, please.
What are the squirtistics? So, the other lesson that I think they have to continuously learn that they never do is like humans are not a weakness.
Yeah.
Because they're really struggling with their human contingency in the desert.
Yeah, which it makes me feel like bad for them because they're like dying of like exhaustion. They're in the fucking desert.
And they still want to fight.
Yeah.
But the Iron Warriors do not like. They're not like,
they
wow,
don't even
these guys are
them.
awesome. They're like, no, you're fucking humans.
You are slowing us down.
And I'm like,
we can't find this because of you. Maybe because you fucking suck.
This is what made no sense to me. This is the part of the book that made absolutely no sense to me. Hey, you just invaded a planet from space, and now you're walking along a desert, and a part of you is slowing you down. What do?
Yeah, I don't understand why they use like Stormbirds.
Yeah, or like why didn't they just like they were like, hey,
it's further down. Go north like 20 more miles. It's over there.
Just got a highway, and this dude was yeah, it's gotta be. There's a bit of a jam coming up. It doesn't explain why. Like, if the humans are causing a problem, it's like, hey, why don't we just like go back to space with the AC? Yeah. They're like, no, we're gonna keep going. Like, there's like thousands of us dying.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I don't think gas is a problem. So why don't you just go back up and redeploy?
They're fucking they're drudging along fucking tanks in this desert. It's not like they're out of resources.
You're losing people. You're losing tanks and shit.
Yeah.
Whoop. Like, I don't pick it up and put it back down.
They're not fighting. They're just walking. Yeah. They're just walking through a desert.
And they're like, holy fuck, it's so hot.
If only someone invented something that would allow us to. These guys are really good at mechanical shit. I wonder if they know.
Like at one point, like, they had like one of the captains in a tent, and they have just like a fan blowing. I'm like, okay, come on, guys.
Wait a minute.
All of the Astartes have like air conditioning in their suits.
I know,
you guys have a fan?
They're walking with AC suits, and they're like, these fucking pathetic humans. It was so stupid. Like, that whole concept of like, and at the end of the day, the fucking humans like
saved the day.
Saved the day.
But no, dude, they gotta fucking like drink their own warm piss. Like they're
literally drinking their own piss. I'm like, there's water in the spaceship that can have you up there in like 5 minutes.
There's some type of filtration system somewhere.
It's so fucking weird. It's like, it's so dumb. And like, what's amazing that you have one Iron Hand that's like
the only one that
smart
gets
one, and he's like, hey, like, these guys are really going through a lot.
Yeah, and like the other ones like scoff and they're like, "Ugh, it's because you're not augmented enough."
Exactly.
Like, excuse me,
dude,
sorry, this dude has a brain.
That's not
You're losing part of your army.
Yeah.
Like,
For
I mean, if you
attrition.
think about it, like the Imperial Guard probably makes up like 70%
Yeah.
of the Legion.
Yeah.
Because there's not that many Astartes.
And this is what blows my mind, because the only thing it explains is that they needed the Imperial Guard artillery to fight some of the Eldar. That's why they're pulling wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you need the Imperial Guard artillery, maybe you should stop complaining that they're so fucking weak, because you can't do it alone. That's the whole fucking thing. It was so frustrating to me when I read that.
Ironians suck.
They do. They
That's
suck.
it.
And like throughout the
No
whole
wonder
book,
Manus got beheaded, because they're like, man, we can't write this guy well.
well, think about this. No, Manus got beheaded because Manus is an idiot. He
Yeah.
never learned a lesson.
No.
He got beheaded because he was like, hey, I know we're waiting for like, I don't know, 6 other legions, but why don't the 3 of us go? And I only got like half of mine against these other legions that betrayed us. And it's like, I don't know if that's going to work.
No,
He
clearly
fucking
it didn't.
Did it anyway.
And I mean, shit, I mean, even in, I don't want to like talk too much, but like at the end of this book, like, he
Still.
could have had like,
He could have solved so many things.
yeah, but instead he's like, nah, fuck you.
It's important to know, I guess we should say this, the Eldar on this planet are attempting to warn Ferrus Manus about this
think-
fan.
One of them has to be, like, the one that like talks to him, I think it's Cabal. One of the Cabals.
It's either that or
'Cause-
Eldrad.
Yeah. Yeah, well, especially like the snake thing, that made me think of like one of the other ones, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Eldrad, especially
And the person at
Fulgrim.
the end he was talking about was Fulgrim.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some talk and debate there. Or it could be Alfarius. He's part of the Cabal.
Dude, I fucking love Alfarius. Honestly, they should have only talked to Alfarius. Because
Alfarius memes are the best memes.
They really are. They're so good.
They're so good. Like, you can do so much with
Yeah.
Alfarius and the
they can be anything.
anything you want. So that's Feet of Iron. Now we go to the Lion. This was my favorite story in the book.
I haven't finished the last one yet. I've only finished like 2 chapters of it. I have like 60 pages left, so I don't know too much about that one. But I do actually enjoy this one. I still hate the lion.
Yeah. Oh, I hate the Lion even more.
Yep.
This is like a lion.
This is
such
just
a
a-
lion book.
This is such a middle finger to the people that suffered through Descent of Angels.
Yes. Yes. It really is. And this is what's frustrating to me is the lion is
Who
you
wrote
hate
this
the
one?
lion.
Was this Rob Sanders?
Gathrop.
Jethro?
Let me check.
I think you're right. I think Rob Sanders does the last one. But
It is Gathrop.
I
But
hate
I
how,
don't know
like,
what else he wrote.
with the Dark Angels, we don't have, like, a consistent author. Because I think Mike Lee, I think that's who it was, that did Fallen Angels, is, like, really good.
Descent of Angels is Mitchell's. Yeah, it's like the person that like never wrote.
Yeah, he only did the one.
So Gathrop wrote Deliverance Lost.
Right, which was good.
Hmm.
But it was Mike Lee for Fallen, right?
Yes. Very good.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Why they don't have him doing, like, the Dark Angel, like, story, like, short stories like this?
I don't
Beyond
think
me.
anyone wants to write. No, you see like the Legions. Authors will be exclusive to Legions.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone wants to write about the first.
Which is maybe it's because I don't know. I can't like get like my grasp on the lion because like he's been written by 4 different people now. Although who wrote in
5. No,
who wrote about the Dark Angels in the last one?
I don't.
Was
know.
it also Gav Thorpe?
I
No, he
don't-
did the Dark Angels or not Dark Angels. The
fact that you remember this.
the bird, the Raven Guard.
Raven Guard. The bird. He did the bird. Oh, the bird. Yes, of course. The Raven Guard.
Yeah.
The bird. Yes. So they have been written about by a lot, but I think they've maintained...
No, Mike Lee did do the Dark Angels before the Fallen Angels. He did one of the short stories, and then we had Fallen Angels. Because I was like, oh shit, look at that. We
There
talked about
have
that.
been now 3 short stories about the Dark Angels.
Yes.
Are you talking about the one that didn't have the lion in it? The one where the guy met the commander from Caliban was
I
teamed
think
up with
so.
the commander.
I think that because yes, that was before Fallen Angels.
That was
came out.
Mike Lee.
Yes, I believe so.
That was a good one.
That was really. I think he does a very good job of
With-
writing the first.
Yeah.
So I think Gathorpe's a good writer.
Yeah.
But I feel like the inconsistent. Like I don't know like what I should think of like the Lion other than he's a fucking idiot.
I think he's been written as an idiot very well. Like
He has been
across all the
everyone,
books.
but like I don't know like. I don't know. I feel like with Fallen Angels, like he had maybe it wasn't him, but more of like Nemiel and the people around him like noticing more of
Yeah.
the Lion's flaws. Whereas like I felt in this one, it was just like
Mhm.
I don't even know how to describe
You
it.
can tell, and it's talked about from Course Wayne in this book that like the Lion is half of
Yeah.
the Dark Angels, and Luther is the other half.
Yeah.
And like Course Wayne, who we actually read about in the previous short story, with Conrad Kurz.
Yeah.
He is now like the number one Dark Angel dude.
Mhm.
He's like the first in command or
Yeah.
whatever.
First captain.
Yeah. He is supposed to be acting as Luther.
Yeah. And he's just not.
He's bad at it.
I mean, the thing is, like Luther, he should be a Primarch, honestly. I mean,
I
The-
think
if it wasn't for the fact that he was a human, he would have been prime material for a Primarch.
here's the thing is if the Lion would have kept Luther on the Crusade, they would have been the best Legion by far.
Yeah. Efficiency wise, like
Decision
happiness, yeah, like everything would have just been so much better for the first.
Yeah.
Because every decision the Lion makes, honestly, hurts them, and he makes
Yes.
dumb decisions.
You see a lot of decisions in this book that are like, why would you do that? And even in the end, where you don't even know what decisions he's really making, you're like,
The fact that he,
seems a little off,
Yeah.
pal.
I mean, this doesn't really say like spoil much, but like the fact that like in the end, like he's like, nah, I don't want to. I'm not gonna trust Gelman. It's like,
Yes.
why?
Yeah. So this is let's give the synopsis of the book real quick
Yeah.
here. The Lion he has recently recovered from his wounds from
Getting
Conrad
fucked up.
yeah, I mean both of them got fucked up, but man, what a good fight. Like that was
Yeah.
cool to read about. And it makes me think less of the Lion and more of Conrad
Yeah,
Kurz.
we might need to update our rankings soon too.
Dude, Conrad Kurz is 2-0.
He is.
He is 2-0. So he's recovered from his wounds, and he goes back to engaging in the war against the Night Lords, who are just giving them a fucking headache of a time.
Yeah.
And what happens is there's a report of some legions gathering in some distant system. The Death Guard and the Iron Warriors. Iron Hands. The Iron Warriors. Death Guard and Iron Hands. So the Lion reveals that this system is actually very special because at some point in time, him and Mortarion took it, and there was some sort of secret weapon on this planet. And he says, we're going to abandon this war with the Night Lords, or at least a portion of us, led by the Lion himself, and we're going to go try and take that planet.
Yep.
So the Lion constantly throughout this is having one big issue internally, and that's the matter of trust.
Yep.
He's thinking about it all the fucking
He
time.
even's like second guessing like the captain of the ship.
Yes, like over nothing in this
Yeah.
book. Like the captain of the ship will be like, I don't know if this is a good idea, and he's like, do I need to kill this man?
Yeah, like Horse Twin's like, I think he makes a good point. I don't know if we should do that.
Yeah, and the captain of the ship is like his whole job is to look after the ship, and the Lion makes several decisions that are concerning for the ship.
Yeah.
And so the captain's like, oh, I would prefer not. Like it's his job.
Yeah.
And he is constantly like, I might need to kill this person. So this is what I find interesting is the Lion, the Lion's pride, right?
Mhm.
This is he found out that Perturabo's bad.
Dude, that was the funniest shit. Well, I found out that Porto Rabo tricked me. I was like,
Darn.
God, you're a
It's
fucking
like,
moron.
well, did you ask him if he was a good guy?
I just assumed he would vote for me if I gave him the
Porto-Rabo.
weapons.
I knew Primarchs. I don't know his last name, but like we were cool, you know.
That was totally like we talked like 3 times in high school.
Yeah, like me and Primarchs were close, man, and all of a sudden he's siding with Horus. Like, what the fuck, dude? And I gave him these really powerful cannons for no fucking reason.
I cannot wait until those show up and like they're in his face. Like someone's like, "How did they get those?" He's like, "I don't know."
I just want to see the lion see Dorn again, and Dorn just be like, "Get out!" Like, I don't even want you here to defend.
You are going to ruin my defenses.
Like, literally, you are a negative to me here. Like, I want you as far away from Terra as possible.
Don't you have a problem with your legion? Go home.
Yeah,
Go
like,
deal with that.
Don't you think that like half your legion being MIA might be a problem? By the way, why did you do that in the first place?
Use your fucking brain,
Yeah.
Lionel L. Johnson.
Yeah, I've got to go build some more barriers to deal with the fucking guns that you gave Porto-Rabo.
These guys, they've never built a gun before. I have to make them learn how to build a gun because of you.
Oh, it's so crazy. And so you get this huge trust issue, and this is a reoccurring thing. One thing I noticed is like he asks all the time, and it's like constant questioning. Like he has this like complex, this superiority complex, where he's like, so the Legion turned against the Emperor for Horus. Would they do the same for me?
Which, I mean, I'm sure that's just foreshadowing of Caliban. But at the same time, why wouldn't you?
He would want his Legion
Oh,
to follow him
Yeah,
over
that's
the
true.
Emperor. Like, he asks in this book.
Yeah, of course. Someone's like,
He's like, would you choose me over the Emperor? And it's like, whoa, that's a loaded fucking question.
look, dude, we're in a civil war.
I see what you just did to that dude earlier.
We're probably in 2 civil wars.
Yeah. It's like the whole line of loyalty is really messed up, and the Lion really wants people to just be like, I will suck your dick no matter what, sir.
I don't understand. Like,
It's really weird.
imagine though, if Luther was there.
It would all have been fine.
Yeah.
It was all the Lion's fault.
Yeah. I mean, Luther could easily just like, look, our squad's good.
Yeah.
Get your head out of your ass, because we're good.
Mm-hmm.
And just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You're there to fight, and let me do everything else, please, for the love of God.
Yeah. And it's like...
And you're not even that great of a fighter, because
Yes.
Conrad Curse fucked your asshole.
So, speaking of the Night Lords, something happens in this book that I was not expecting of the Night Lords.
Which part?
The whole demon thing.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was weird. So maybe I'm wrong about the Night Lords, because what I previously thought was the Night Lords are just like traitors, but they're not like on board with the demon stuff. But maybe that's not true.
I think that's just the Alpha Legion at this point.
Yeah, maybe it's just the Alpha Legion that's like, I'm not on board with the demon stuff. I don't think Porto-Rabo is a big fan of the demon stuff at this point.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think he changes his mind.
Although we haven't had any Porto-Rabo real like talk.
Yeah, like I don't think the only conversation we've ever had with Porto-Rabo was the Lion conversation with Porto-Rabo.
Yeah. I'll vote for you. You can definitely get my +1
You got my vote, pal.
for War Master, dude.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for the weapons.
What a weird
That was
thing.
cool.
So, we get some warp stuff with the Night Lords. And one thing I liked about this book, and I think, do we see any of the other books? No, I don't think we did. What I liked about this book is Tzeentch is huge in this book.
Is he?
All of those demons are Tzeentch demons.
Oh, interesting.
So you get a description of a changer of ways, or keeper of secrets.
Oh yeah.
You get a description of pink horrors. Like all of the demons that they fight are Tzeentch demons. I think you see some bloodletters as well, but the demons that they describe in this book are the miniatures they sell.
Interesting. That's I would not think of fuck. What's the Legion called again?
The
Night Lords.
Night Lords. Yeah.
I would not expect them to be like a rep of Tzeentch.
No, they aren't. and it's described later on they're not. So I'm very curious as like what happened here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just like a ship. You know?
Yeah.
Because
I
one
will
of the
say
things,
one thing that's super cool, especially like the last couple books, how they are using like warp jumps to fuck other ships.
yes,
So cool.
the Night Lords.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Night Lords, they don't necessarily like rep a demon or whatever, but they're very much like whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
But what you also find about the Night Lords is they're not very well organized, and there's like subsections of Night Lords that do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
And the only thing that keeps them together is Servitor
Dude,
and the
Sarah
Nighthawk.
Tower.
Yeah. So
It's my Ryan Reynolds.
yeah, there you go. The other thing is the lion's chasing after this like important artifact, and it's fucking cool.
That's really cool.
I will say that the artifact in this, and I told you this earlier. Look up after you read the short story the YouTube series called Astartes.
Is it still up? Because I know.
Yes, you can find. Like
because I know that guy like joined Games Workshop, and I think he's I think he's the one that does the new shit. What's it called? Something in Bolter.
Oh, Hammer and Bolter? Or...
Yeah, I think he does Hammer and Bolter. I think that's him.
Yeah, these Astartes was an amazing project. If you guys are not familiar with the YouTube Astartes project, it's like just a fan that was really
Was a fan. Now he's employed by Game Workshop.
Yeah, he was really fucking good at animation, and he released like movie quality.
Hammer and Bolter.
Yes, that's what I said.
Shit, I don't know why it really dawned on me that time.
Oh my god!
How much alcohol is in this shit?
That's
I also haven't had dinner. Maybe that's the
4.5.
problem.
That's not that
Feels
much.
like 35.
Wow, that's rough, kid. But it's an amazing series, super well animated, like movie quality animation, and they run into this artifact in that series. It's only like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because he had to release it. It took like years to make those 15 minutes because it was
the animation's hard.
Alone. That animation was phenomenal. Like I would if Warhammer ever got turned into like a TV show or movie, that's what it would be like. Like super big respect. And then some weird shit happened that I'm sure we'll talk about at some point on the podcast about Games Workshop and their stuff.
That's it.
Yep.
Stuff.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So that's the story of the lion. We get to see Typhus. We get to see some Iron Hands. Typhus has an interesting arc in this story, though, because we start to see that the traitor legions are kind of falling apart. They're not able to like keep control of their own space marines. Like Typhus is off doing his own fucking thing.
So just a quick thing. So Trainwreck on our Discord, he was messaging me about this story, and apparently, Typhus was not a disc raider. He grew up with Mortarion.
Okay.
And
yeah, he was.
That this was written wrong, because in this it says that the thing talks to him and is like, "Oh, you were here before as a disc raider or whatever."
Oh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, yeah, because it talks about him being from Terra.
Yeah.
Oh, that is interesting. Maybe something was oversight. Who knows?
I
didn't
feel
know.
Like there's so many books and like so much random shit. It's harder to honestly tell like
it doesn't really
what's
matter.
canon and what's not.
It doesn't really matter too much. Oh, it does, because Typhus is a psyker.
Yes, he is.
And
a psyker.
the reason it brought that up is because like he was a psyker. In this book, he was a psyker before Mortarion, and then Mortarion showed up, and Mortarion was like, "No psykers."
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is a little fucky.
I think
Mortarion
like
hates psychers.
It's easily changed.
Yeah.
Like he was always a psyker, he just never uses powers.
Yeah.
But really weird.
I mean, I don't know if people like the Dark Angel, Zahariel, who he didn't know he was a psyker until he was about to die.
Yeah,
and even then he still didn't have any idea. So
not
when your
showed up,
abilities awakened. Sure, whatever. Like, who knows?
Yeah. So that was the story of the lion. I think it was my favorite story. It has a really cool ending. That technology is really badass.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And I'm very excited to see where that takes the story.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read about.
I just can't wait to see whenever Portorobo comes up with the cannons and the line's like, "Fuck, that was me."
I hope that's the thing that happens. All right, and then we get the last story, which is the Serpent's Pass about the Alpha Legion. Yeah, here's my only problem. As every Alpha Legion story out there, it's fucking great. There's just too fucking many Alpha Legion stories.
Yeah, we talked about this before. I don't know if we were recording when we talked about but you had mentioned you're almost like Alpha Legioned out.
Yes,
because they are probably the most prominent Legion that we've seen.
Yeah, it's you see them in a lot of short stories.
We had a whole book about them, half a book written about them.
Yeah, Deliverance Lost. Yeah, it's just a lot of a Legion that's supposed to be secret, and this is the downfall of this at this point. I knew it was gonna happen.
I don't know what happens, so I don't know.
But when you start reading it, you know it's gonna be some Alpha Legion shenanigans.
Oh yeah, for sure. What's cool about this one though is at least at least from what I've read so far, it's about someone infiltrating the Alpha Legion.
Yes, so in this book...
It's like, wait a minute.
No, but it's not someone infiltrating the Alpha Legion. It's the Alpha Legion infiltrating the Alpha Legion.
Which, honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. Could you imagine, though, you were, another Legionnaire, you got, brought into the Alpha Legion? Honestly, I feel like that would be, the best way to, infiltrate. Because, the whole time you're just I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. None of us know what the fuck's going on.
Maybe another Legion?
Yeah, say a fucking Luminal Wolf was implanted in there to be a fucking
Alpha Legionnaire?
Yeah, sure. I was gonna say a leak, but I can't remember
Yeah. Well, so this is the thing. Is okay, so let's give the synopsis of the story before we go on here.
I don't know the full synopsis, so I don't know.
The synopsis is really simple. They have a outpost. The Alpha Legion has a secret, of course, outpost.
Everything's a secret.
A secret outpost. I wonder what that belongs to. And they had a leak from the outpost. Yeah. Somebody was given information to whoever, who fucking knows, whether it's good guys, bad guys. No one knows at this point. You're in the Alpha Legion now, boys. You have no idea. There's no such thing as good or bad. You're playing both sides. So they had a leak. So Omegon is in charge of dealing with this leak. And the whole concept is the best way to deal with a leak is just destroy it. So he creates an Alpha Legion raiding party to kill an Alpha Legion base. So Alpha Legion secrets don't escape. And he does this whole thing in secret because he can't let the Alpha Legion know that the Alpha Legion is attacking the Alpha Legion.
So imagine it was an Alpha Legion, but what I was saying before, think about if you were brought in to be a spy.
Sure.
No one would be able to tell because no one knows shit.
Oh yeah, you could easily spy on the Alpha Legion. It would be the easiest Legion to spy on.
Yeah, because no one knows shit. You just I'm definitely Alpharius.
So this is one thing that I saw with the book that I didn't like. I thought was weird. No one called themselves Alpharius.
That is weird.
I thought it was weird. I think it was just a writing thing. Yeah, you're not Omegon, you're Alpharius. Shut the fuck up, Omegon. They started referring to people by names. I'm like, okay. Now I know why they had to do it for the book. Yeah. Because in previous times, when we talked about Legion, right?
Yeah. Well, at least
everyone could say they're Alpharius. You didn't need to know who they were.
Well, the thing about Legion too, they're this is my name. But
I am Alpharius.
Yeah, but they play a role every time they're in public.
Yeah. So the way this book is written is super cool. It's literally written
You know what I just noticed? This is, I think, our first short story, or a first book of an anthology that doesn't have Dan Abnett in it.
Yeah, and Dan Abnett wrote Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that. I looked back because I started noticing things that were kind of different about the other Legion stories. So, the way it's written is really good, though. It's really cool because it's almost like watching an Ocean's 11 movie. So what'll happen is while they're raiding the complex, they'll get to a spot and they're stuck, and then it'll go back in time to where they're in the meeting room talking about how to get through that obstacle.
Oh, neat.
Yes. So it's Like it'll be like, oh, we came across this wall, and it'll reverse one. So when we get to the wall, this is what we're gonna do here, 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 and here.
So where I'm at, they just picked up the Psyker.
Okay, yeah. So like once they get to the base and start doing stuff. Now, like I said, one of the big problems with this book is like you've seen so much Alpha Legion, so much secrecy. I kind of called everything from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like there was only one surprise that was like, oh. But like I was also there was some things I was questioning. I was like, how is that going to happen? That doesn't seem right because that's not how the Alpha Legion would do it unless this or this. And one of those things came true. You know, like what I'm saying is like just think about it. The Alpha Legion wants to keep it secret that the Alpha Legion is invading the Alpha Legion. So when they hire the Alpha Legion to invade the Alpha Legion, how do you think they keep it secret?
By being the Alpha Legion.
What I'm saying is like, they keep everything under wraps, and it kind of gets to the point of just redundancy.
Yeah.
It's cool to read. It's like a really cool short story because it sets up one thing. There is one thing that it sets up, but it's like one of that. You remember at the other Alpha Legion short story that was it was actually a Raven Guard short story where at the end we were like, oh, maybe the Alpha Legion are loyalists because they did this thing.
Yeah.
Something very similar happens at the end of this short story where you're like,
what the hell?
There's a discrepancy between Omegon and Alpharius.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And you're like, I wonder what's going on there.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, I feel like the whole like Alpha Legion like setup is for to play both sides, and that's why we have the twin Primarchs, right?
Both sides.
You have one for Horus, one for the Emperor, and honestly, everything's kind of in between of them. Like, this is kind of the outcome we actually want.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Like the Alpha Legion, they have the tools and the capability to affect the outcome. Problem is, they don't really know what they want. I think that's the issue.
Yeah.
And there's a lack of identity in the Alpha Legion. Shock, surprise. And like what their goal is. No one knows what the fuck their goal is. Not even Alpharius knows what the fuck the goal is. And I think you see that in this book. But yeah, it's a really cool short story. It doesn't really impact anything except for at the very, very end. And it's like a minor impact where it's like character choices.
Yeah.
You know? So really cool to read about. I fully expected everything to happen in here to happen because it's the Alpha Legion and it's just the way they do things. Like the characters were really cool. There were scenes that were really cool. It's really well written.
Nice. I'll get there. I'm almost done. And then I gotta start Fear to Tread.
Great book. Great book so far. Just read a crazy fucking scene.
Oh, it's James Swallow. It might drag. Who knows?
So far, everything has been really interesting.
Awesome. Well, guys, that is the preview of the Primarchs. We'll be back next week to review all the short stories. I mean, we gave you all the synopsis, all the need to know. Shouldn't be too bad to get through all 4 stories as a review.
I think it'll be fun.
Before we end this, personal enjoyment and importance of the heresy, Gavin.
Personal enjoyment, I'm really gonna put it like a 5. There were some parts, since it's an anthology, there were some I enjoyed, some I didn't enjoy. And this is what's frustrating. It's like you really have to break it down. Like I really enjoyed the Alpha Legion and the Lion story. I kind of enjoyed the Emperor's Children story. Didn't enjoy the Iron Hand story at all. Importance of the heresy. The Lion story is really important in the heresy.
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you think like importance, like the Manus story is not very important.
Not
it
at
was
all.
just kind of like, oh, this is who Manus is.
I don't think
Piece
the
of shit.
Alpha Legion story is very important. I don't even think the Fulgrim story is that important. Like they could have gotten there in a different book. You know what I mean?
The Fulcrum one's weird because like it should be important, right?
Yeah.
But
it seems like it may know.
Especially after reading the actual book Fulgrim,
Mm-hmm.
going like if you read Fulgrim and then you read this, you'd be like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, so
I'd say important to the heresy is a 6. Personal enjoyment is a 5. If you didn't know anything in this book but the Lion story, you'd be fine. I think.
Yeah. So I have about 60 pages left. currently my personal enjoyment, honestly, on the low side. It's especially after like the Mana Store. Like the Mana Store was so fucking long
Yeah. It was
and
a
miserable. Like all those stories, I felt super long.
drag. Yeah.
I'm gonna put it down to a 3. I think
That's low for you.
it is very
I
low.
don't have a lot of 3s out there. But
No.
I get it.
This entire book just has seemed super long. All the stories, I'm just like, damn it, just get to the fucking meat but the meat here. Points to the heresy, I would say the line of one's important. I'll give it a 5 with you. Probably.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot.
Yeah. So that's it for our preview, guys. We'll be back next week to review it. Hopefully it's more enjoyable, because some of these stories are a drag, and if you didn't read them, it's honestly probably better to hear about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. Like, I think this is a book that you could just listen to the podcast and skip.
Yeah, which it's weird to say because I hate saying like, you definitely skip this, but like there are important things in here, but we're definitely
Easily
gonna cover
covered,
those.
yeah.
So like you don't have to read it,
Yep.
especially the fucking Iron it's so bad.
Don't worry about it. If you're listening to us before you jump into the book, just skip the Iron one.
Oh, please, it'll make your life so much better.
It's true.
So that's it, guys. We'll be back next week to review, and then after that, we will have our special episode talking about more Primarchs.
The books.
It'll be awesome.
Primarchs, fun stuff.
Yep, it'll be great. So, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll be back next week. Have a good one.